times. Any unattended baggage will be removed and may be destroyed by security services. Belonging to you at all times. Any unattended baggage will be removed and may be destroyed by security services.
Well, a very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, a very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Dad Rail stream, very highly requested West Coast mainline over Shap. We will be starting on time in approximately 7 minutes. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to this Dad Rail stream on the very popular and much requested West Coast main line over Shap. We will be starting in around about 5 minutes' time.
Passengers are reminded that smoking is prohibited at all stations and on all train services. This includes e-cigarettes. This is a safety announcement. It is not permitted to cycle, skateboard or rollerblade within the station building.
Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing this evening? How is everybody? Oh dear. It's a long time since I've done a stream, so I am very, very rusty. How do we start this off? Let's start off by saying, hello, welcome to the stream. My name is Richard. If this is the first stream you've seen by me, then I'm a mainline train driver based in the southeast of England. Mainline freight train driver and former passenger train driver. It's definitely been a long time. As you can see, I'm very, very, very rusty. Absolutely terrible. Okay, guys, so in tonight's stream, we're going to be doing West Coast over Shap, the West Coast Mainline over Shap for Train Sim Classic, which is something I've been asked to do quite a few times in the past, and I've been promising to do it. So tonight is the night, and I'd like to say a huge thank you to Northern Princess Productions for gifting me this route via Steam, so thank you very much. And I believe she's in the chat as well. Yes, there we are, Northern Princess Productions. So great to see so many of you in tonight. Who have we got? We've got officially Charles moderating, we've got Bluegrass, we've got Maxwell, who is in every stream. Very loyal, Maxwell. I love it. Pig and Bob, hello, how you doing? Little Jack, Train Sim Player 58, Rowan Plays, Loco CL66, good evening, bud, how you doing? And DET Trains. Okay, guys, we are going to be having some of our usual features tonight. We are going to be playing our very popular game.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
That's the one, Locomotive Livery Location. Picture tonight has been provided by me. However, unfortunately, we will not be jumping in and out of Discord. And the reason we're not going to be doing that is because Discord is broken. I can't get my Discord to load at my end, so we will not be jumping in and out of Discord, unfortunately. So, guys, just before we jump in, and as always, I am just going to play this very special declaration that is absolutely mandatory, and let you know that all the views and opinions expressed within this stream are solely my own and may not reflect those of any companies I may be employed by or associated with, and all of that good stuff. If you haven't already, guys, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing. And that's enough rabbiting. Let's play a game. Okie dokie, we are in West Coast Mainline over Shap Train Sim Classic. Game audio is turned on. I might need to adjust the audio levels, guys, so let me know if the game's too high or you want it turned down or whatever we're doing. So we are a tour of West Coast Mainline over Shap. There is our briefing. We're a Class 87 Intercity Express, Poole to Glasgow Central Service, calling at Lancaster, Oxenholme, Penrith and Carlisle. So I have had a little look at this route. I've had a very sort of brief play, and I think it is an absolute gem. It's a real beaut of a route. Now, I know people are going to moan at me for not having the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 86 installed, and I do apologise. That is something I am definitely going to get round to. Northern Princess Productions has been kind enough to create some custom scenarios for me, and there's a few things I need to download, and one of them will be the AP Class 86. But unfortunately, I just didn't have time to get that in before tonight's stream. So let's get some lights on. Headlights, fantastic. Crazy Plays, this is about a 90-minute service. I think we're doing the entire length of the route, all the way from Preston through to Carlisle. Oh, light engine, 47. Where's the free camera on this? There we go. Beautiful. I'm driving a Class 8. I'm not driving an 86. I'm driving an 87. Okay, brilliant. Excellent. Right, that's the first. Mistake. Let's be polite about it. What did I say in the thumb? Did I say 87 in the thumbnail? 86. I even said 86 in the thumbnail. Wow, that's terrible. Okay, right away, driver. Our next stop is Lancaster. The schedule is quite relaxed, so there will be a lot of time to look at the sights along the way. Enjoy the trip. No, you don't get tea and biscuits for that, Emily. No, sorry, we're not doing that. Not for taking the wrong train. Okay. Right, so we're waiting for the brakes to release. There we go. And we are going to notch this up nice and gently. We've got a green signal. We are 35 miles an hour. And we are just notching that up. We idealistically want to keep that within the yellow. So if anyone doesn't understand the notching or should be tapping procedure on the Class 86 and 87s, I'll try and explain it briefly as we go along. I am not an expert in these locomotives by any stretch of the imagination. I drive Class 73s, which are similar in the way they operate with the kind of notches and stuff like that, but by no way identical. So I will sort of try and do my best to explain, and I'm sure there'll be someone in the chat that knows them a lot better than I do. Okay, so we've got a 25 coming up, so I'm running back. You can see the amps running back there. We're going to need a little bit of brake. That's it. That's the first mistake. We're speeding. Brilliant. Right, we're off. Let's just move the controller back into the hold position. Same with the title. It says class 86. Crazy place. Ah, sorry about that. Yeah, my bad. I don't know why I thought it was an 86. I always get 86s and 87s mixed up for some reason. Okay, can we go into the run-up position now, or is that going to give us too much? I think we might be alright in run-up. Hey, TR9! Hello, how are we doing? Good evening, welcome. It's very blue skies for rain. Oh, wheel slip, hello. So as it's wheel slipping, I'm going to move it back into the hold position, just let it establish itself there. Sparking. Let's have some tones. Okay, let's get the power up again. I like, from the little bit I've played of this, I really like it because you actually have to drive the locomotive. It's similar to Class 73 in that respect. I've spoken before about how with 73s you actually have to drive them. You can't just kind of, open the throttle and let it go. You've got to actually play around with it and regulate it. And this is very much the same, and I really enjoy that. Makes the game a lot more interesting. Hey, Davidoff! How are you? I'm good, thank you. What's your good news, Davidoff? Be interested to hear about. DET trains, do I have a model railway layout? Do you know what? I don't. I would absolutely love to have a model railway layout, but unfortunately, this is Oxenholme on the outskirts of Preston. There is a goods loop in the up direction only. Okay, that's quite useful. A little bit of information. Yeah, I don't have a model railway layout. I'd absolutely love to have a model railway layout, but I don't have the space or the time at the moment, I'm afraid. Sam Brooks, hello, good evening, welcome to the stream. Crouching Tiger Hidden Adam, hello bud, I haven't seen you for a long time. When driving freight, do you have to think about the weight of the train behind you? As a driver, can you sense the weight in the train? Yeah, Adam, you most definitely can sense the weight in the train. You'll need to know how much weight you've got on. You'll have a document called a TOPS list, and TOPS list will tell you the total weight of your train. If you're driving a heavy train, places such as going up gradients, you're going to need to get the power in a lot earlier and a lot heavier. Going down gradients, the weight of that train is going to push you. There are certain locations with heavy trains that you won't. Say you're at the bottom of a hill and you've got a yellow signal. If you've got a heavy train, you wouldn't attempt to go up the hill on a yellow signal, in case you get to the top and get stopped on a red and can't get it going again. So yeah, the weight does make an absolutely massive difference. Get a bit of lagging in my frame rate as well. Hey, Trains to Play 58. Yeah, my Sunday's not been too bad, but thank you very much. Not too bad at all. The goods loop on the left is Barton and Broughton. We are approaching the village of Barton, where we will pass under the A6. Excellent. LW Rail, good evening. Railways, etc. Do you drive any routes with overhead lines? So I don't sign any AC traction, and the only bit of route that I sign with overheads is the West Coast Main Line and the North Londons between Acton Wells and Acton Central. Richard, are you participating in NNN? What is NNN, bud? Hey, Davidoff passes dispatcher on SCR. Well done, bud. Okay, so speed's coming out to 104. We're allowed 110 at the moment. We've got no upcoming speed restrictions. So what I'm going to do, I'm in the hold position on the controller at the moment. I'm just going to notch that power back a little bit. Put that back in the hold position and see how we get on with that. And whilst we are plodding along, let's play again.
Post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
Hey Callum, hi bud, how you doing? Laserjet, good evening. LNER Azuma 800, hello Deborah, future train operator of Suburban Railway. I'm currently studying mechanical engineering, excellent. So I'm just notching up a little bit more because I've noticed my speed's starting to drop off. This is Brock. Shortly we will reach the first of a number of neutral sections in the overhead electrification. Please remember what you have learned in the route tutorials. I may or may not have done those. Neutral sections occur approximately every 15 miles along the route. This will show up on the route profile displayed if you use the F3 or F4 HUD. Hey Stu, thank you very much bud. Evening Richard, no tea and biscuits with the manager tonight. Your mic is lower than the game. I can hear it but the gameplay is a tad loud. Yeah, no worries, we can deal with that. So because we're coming up to a neutral section, I am just going to put the controller in the run down position. Just putting that volume down there, let me know if that's okay. So the controller's in the run down position. You can see the percentage in power now starting to come back. So we're about to pass through the neutral section now. I've probably still got a little bit too much power in as well for the neutral section. I should probably try and be down at 0 before we go through it. And then once we're down at 0, we can go and start running that back up again. And then we can see the power coming back up. Okay, so locomotive location livery. I'm going for the third number on my screen, which is the way we do things around here, as I'm sure you know. I keep clicking off the game and it pauses. The third number on my screen is DET Trains with number 9. Let's play.
Let's play locomotive livery location.
Okay guys, if you haven't seen this game before, I'm going to reveal what's behind box number 9. You've got 10 seconds to tell me the locomotive livery and location. Ooh, there's a little bit to go on there. As always guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Locomotive livery and location. Elenia, I'm a guard trainer at South Coast Railways. Excellent. Yorkshire Level Crossing channel. Hello, Richard. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for asking. Elenia Azuma, have I ever taken the Elizabeth line? Yes, I've been on it a couple of times now. It's quite impressive, actually. I think the architecture and the design on it is lovely. It's certainly very functional. Right, what are we going for? Locomotive location livery. Fishley Charles says, I know it. Wyhorn Lamb says a 73. Callum Lang says 73-201 at London Bridge. LW Route. Tradesman from Box is 73. Fishley Charles 73-201 at Clapham Junction, working 3 Whiskey 90. That's very specific. Northern Princess Productions, class 73, blue GBR, no clue on the location. Crazy Plays is guessing 73. Why do I have the wipers on when it's not raining? It was raining. Good point, mate. Good point. Okay, so let's take a couple of notches of power off of that, just to see if we can hold the 110, because we are starting to accelerate just a little bit. See if we can hold that just there. Yeah, Eleni Arizuma, you can get from Abbeywood now out to Heathrow, I think, aren't you? And to, I want to say Maidenhead. They're not going all the way through to Reading yet, I believe. DT Trains, that's London Bridge, I can see the Shard. Officially, Charles, I am the London RHTT god. I've been quite lucky this year. I haven't done much RHTT work. I seem to have got away with it, which has been quite pleasant. Dadval, please do tones when we pass T-Bay. Where's T-Bay? We can do tones, but I've got no idea where that is. Do you know what? I must say, guys, a few people have said, get this route, get this route, get this route. And again, big thank you to Northern Princess Productions for gifting it to me. It is absolutely beautiful. This is the quaintly named Bay Horse. We've just passed the emergency crossings located here. It is proper scenic. This is lovely. Yeah, David 2008, and why not the AP 86? I did cover that earlier on. It's one of the things I need to get is the AP 86. I haven't got that at the moment. Unfortunately, I didn't get time to install it before the stream, but yeah, I hear you. Okay, let's run the power back up a little. I think we're almost up at 100% power anyway, aren't we? Okay guys, so, like I say, I'm absolutely no expert in these locomotives and the way they work. But I will sort of try my best to explain sort of my understanding of what's going on. Below us is the village of Galegate. So on our right here, we've got our power setting. We've got 0 up to 100. This is our tap, I can't read exactly what it says there, tap transformer position. So on a modern freight locomotive, or on a modern train or locomotive in general, you have like 7-8 notches of power, and all you do is you move the throttle into the notch you want. So you go up to notch 8, come back to 6, come back to 4, go back to 7, come back to idle. And you can do that all day long, and whatever notch you put it in is what it will give you. However, the 86, 87, 73s, there's probably others that work like it as well. This is Outback on the approach to Lancaster, up and down passing loops provided here. Lancaster's only 2 miles away, so we're going to start running the power down. We're already run down. So yeah, we can't just sort of go notch 1, notch 2, notch 3, notch 4, notch 5, etc, etc, 2 flashing yellows. Why have we got emergency brakes? What's happening? What? Okay, what have I done wrong? Why have the emergency brakes come on? If there was an AWS going off, I didn't hear it. I swear blind, I didn't hear it. Okay, brilliant. Okay, yeah, anyway, we'll let that stop and then we'll try and reset it. So the way we get power on this locomotive is by running it up and running it down. So we start on 0. As you can see here, the controller's in the... I'll take it to off. That's in the off position there, as you can see there. So generally speaking, well, off, you're going to be at 0. If we want to increase power on the locomotive, we move the controller to the notch up position, and what that's going to do is it's going to give us 1 notch of power. So this is going to increase ever so slightly, so we can notch up, notch up, notch up. When we press notch up, it'll automatically spring back to the hold position, as you can see there. What we can do if we're feeling lazy is put the controller into run up, and what that's going to do is it's going to keep moving up all the way till it gets to 100. However, when we want to take the power off, we need to put the controller into run down. So to get from 100% power to 20% power, we need to put this controller in the run down position, and that could take maybe 30-40 seconds to reduce the power down to 20 or down to 40 or down to wherever we're going. So you kind of need to think ahead about what you're doing and exactly what's going on. That's kind of my understanding of it anyway. You've also got sort of notch up position, so you can come up by 1 notch. You've got a hold position to hold it in the location it's currently at, and a notch down position as well. So, right, let's see if I can get this thing moving again, because I've got absolutely no idea what I've done wrong. Right, off. Okay. Run up. Nope. Into forward. Did I accidentally knock it into neutral or something? Okay, loco brake off. Okay, all my brakes are off. We should start moving. Come on, please. Pretty please. No! Stu, you didn't cancel the AWS. Ah. Do you know what, guys? It's got to be tea and biscuits for the manager, that has, isn't it? Definitely. Right, why isn't this going? Is there a train fault acknowledge light or something I need to do? Oh dear, here we go. Stream's over before it started. Oh, there we go. I think we were getting a bit of wheel slip. Right, we're off. So you can see there you've got your ammeter. That tells us how many amps we're pulling. Every time I notch up on the controller, you can see the ammeter comes up slightly. And you can see the amount of power we're requesting comes up as well. So we can stay in the yellow. We don't really want to venture into the red. That's not a good place to be. Right, let's see if we can successfully negotiate the stop at Lancaster without causing any more drama. Hey Stu, you're being far too generous tonight. Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely too busy concentrating on chatting and not driving. Yeah, Wyhorn Lamb, good old camshaft and electrical resistor control. Yeah, being that the Class 73 operates on the same principles, which I do drive, I should kind of sort of be half decent at it, or you'd like to think so. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to see more dodgy driving, then don't forget to like and subscribe. That would be brilliant. Well, at least we got down for the 75. At least we didn't bust the 75. Okay, so let's put that in the rundown position and run all that power back. So the controller's now in rundown. As you can see, the power's coming back. The amps are dropping back. And although I'm in rundown, we're still accelerating because we have still got power in. Although we're reducing the amount of power, we have still got power in. So I'm going to get a little bit of brake in. So I'm sort of braking against power now, which is far from ideal. Wait, I cancelled it. But I've got to assume we've got red ahead. Let's get a lot more braking, otherwise this is not going to end well. There's a 40 coming up. 70% brake. That's not too bad. 70% brake will take that. Right. Let's release that. I think that's good to release. Brake has fully released. Excellent. Okay. Arthur's Transport Productions, good evening. Pig and Bob, I've not seen 37800's new livery, I'm afraid. Enlighten me. He's probably going to overshoot. Yeah, you know it. I'm going to go all the way to the end of the platform. I'm going to aim for the end of the platform. Overshoot, please. Overshoot rail. Stop short rail. This is going to be. VT 4 and 5 car mark. I think there's a conflict of sort of, you know, what era we're actually driving in here, because we've got sort of a BR Blue loco, and we've got Virgin Trains markers. I'm sure I saw enhanced speed markers for Pendolinos earlier as well, so. I'm coming in so gingerly now because you've all jinxed it, you've all said I'm going to overshoot. I'm going to take it. Oh, it's almost perfect. We're taking it. Doing wipers with no rain again. Right. And LED signals. I didn't notice that, yeah. Yeah, Davidoff asked a good question earlier about the Birmingham Cross City. I am very, very much out of the loop with train sim and train sim stuff at the moment. I've been on holiday in Portugal, so that's kind of put me out of the loop a little bit, and I've had a few sort of things going on at home at the moment, which I won't go into. So I'm very, very much out of the loop. So what's people's opinions on Train Sim World 3 Cross City? You know, are we looking forward to it, or are we thinking it's a ported route from Train Sim Classic and it's a bit of a cop-out? I'd be really interested to hear your your thoughts. Personally, I really enjoyed the Cross City line in Train Sim Classic, and I'd be really interested to see what's going to happen with it in Train Sim World. So, yeah, like I say, really interested to hear your thoughts on it in the chat. Right, let's release that. Brakes are coming off. We're in forward. Start notching up the power. So the rail is slightly wet and slippery, I'm guessing. Yeah, there we go. We've got wheel slip going on there, so we're just going to hold it. See, we could put the controller straight into the run-up position. What's going to happen if we do that? It's going to keep running up, and the amps are going to get too high. It's going to go up into the red. And we're also going to slip as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that in the hold position, and we're only going to use the run-up position when we get to higher speeds. Yeah, EPS board there as well. Loon Viaduct down Main. We're crossing the River Loon. In 2 miles we'll encounter another neutral section at Hest Bank. Excellent. Undershoot rail. No, that was good. That was a good stop. LW rail, I'm not going to buy it because I'm going to wait for the Rivet Games route. Right, so I think we can safely go into run-up now. We do have a neutral section coming up, so we need to bear that in mind. DET trains, and I don't have Cross City. I don't have the early access to it yet. So yeah, I haven't been involved in the beta testing or anything for that, so I haven't looked at it. But I'm quite interested to see what they do with it. It was always one of my favourite routes, even back in Open BVE back in the day. And I really show my age there. Open BVE, Cross City South was a great route. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it in Train Sim Classic, all but the terrible sounds on the 323. So yeah, be really interested to see what they do with it in Train Sim World. Someone was asking LW Route, what is a neutral section? A neutral section is a section of the overhead line which is effectively isolated from the rest of the traction current. It's neutral, it's dead. And the reason you have them is to divide, is to divide the overhead line into sections. So if something was to happen, you used to have to isolate the overhead line equipment. You know, if you've got it broken down into sections, you can just isolate one section of that line, so between point A and point B. Whereas if you haven't got those neutral sections, when you turn it off, you're going to turn off the whole network. Likewise, if there's a fault on one of the substations and the substation keeps blowing, you know, it's not going to affect the whole route, it's just going to affect that particular section. So the neutral section in the middle is a section where effectively it's neutral, which stops the current passing through it and bridging the sections. This is Hest Bank. On the left is Morecambe Bay. This is the closest the West Coast Main Line gets to the west coast of the UK. Oh, excellent. I did not know that. On 390s it goes bang. Yeah, the reason it goes bang on 390s after Transport Productions is because they've got something called a VCB, a vacuum circuit breaker. And the vacuum circuit breaker is basically a circuit breaker in a vacuum. So when you go past a neutral section, the circuit breaker opens, which is the bang you hear, then it closes again the other side. The reason the circuit breaker is within a vacuum is to stop you getting massive arcs. If you can imagine a circuit breaker with 25,000 volts, if you can imagine that opening and closing, that's going to cause massive arcing and sparking. So that's put within a vacuum chamber, which stops the arcing. It would look pretty impressive, though. It would look impressive. Whitehand Cross City was my first mainline route I ever played on Open BBA. Yeah, likewise, bud. David 2008, do you recommend the Birmingham route on Classic for £25? Yeah, the route is very good, but the Class 323 that comes with it, the sounds are terrible. So you will need to get the AP enhancement pack for the 323. But the route itself is good. Jack HST Productions, fun fact, the driver has to set the points manually at Morecambe and then go to Heysham Harbour, Heysham Power Set. Oh, excellent. Chris Hillar, good evening. Do number 1 keys still exist? Do you mean like BR1B keys? They certainly do, Chris. and they are used. Northern Princess Productions overall cross city isn't my cup of tea because it's basically stopping passengers. I do like the variety of the timetable though. Yeah, the one thing that worries me about cross city on Trains in World is it's going to look like you're going to go into New Street. It's going to look empty. There's not sort of much in the way of traction that we've got. I do feel the route might look a bit empty, which is going to be a shame. But we'll see what they do with it. We are rocketing along. Carnforth down Main. Carnforth is the junction with the Cumbrian coastline and the Little Northwestern line towards Skipton and Leeds. On the left is Steamtown Complex. Carnforth Station was the location of the 1955 brief encounter. There are no longer platforms facing the West Coast Main Line. I do like the little history popping up. That's quite nice. Right, how long have we got? Go via Millthorpe down Main, 6.65 miles. So,
post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
Yeah, David Masterkey done a Class 73, and everyone raved about it, but I didn't think it was that good. Class 73 in Trains in World, I'd love to see that, especially with the RHTT pack. But, alas, I don't think it's going to happen. Hey, Sam Robinson, how you doing? Good to see you too, bud. Hope you've not been having too much drama at work. Keo Line E233 series. Hi, good evening. Is there any platform in the UK divided into two block sections, dividing the platform track into two block sections? Yeah, no, we do have platforms like that in the UK. Yeah, it's not common, but it does happen. We do have something in the UK called permissive working as well, which allows more than one train to occupy the same platform. So you can have, even though the platform's the same block, you can have two trains within the same block. But we do have platforms that are split into two separate blocks. Horsham comes to mind, London Bridge, London Blackfriars. There's a couple of places. Hey, Pure Lemon, how you doing, bud? Yeah, not too bad, thank you, not too bad. Arthur's Transport Productions says, yeah, Manchester Piccadilly has two blocks. Chris Hillard, do Avanti drivers get any different training? I was on a service yesterday and the stops were a lot smoother. The drivers seemed to be releasing the brakes just before coming to a stop. Not that I'm aware of, Chris. If you're driving well and you're driving the train properly, then releasing the brakes just before you come to a stop is generally good practice. I don't think a lot of drivers tend to do it. A lot of drivers try and stop the train in brake step one. But yeah, stopping on a rising brake is definitely more smooth. You don't get that jolt. Hey, William, Jolie's, good evening. How are you doing? Okay, guys, right. Locomotive livery location.
Let's play locomotive livery location.
We're going with Rowan Plays, box number 13. You've got 10 seconds, guys, to give me the locomotive, and livery, and location. I thought this was going to be a challenging one. Obviously, it's far too easy. I say it's far too easy. It's only easy if you know the answer. So does New Street, Stu says, yeah. Red Hill Platform 1 is split into two. Yeah, DET trains. Red Hill Platform 1 isn't two block sections, though. It's still one block section. But you can get two trains in there via permissive working. David 2008, 37 DRS Lincoln. DT trains, 73 London Bridge. Arthur's Transport Production, sticking with 73201. Transport from Berkshire, 73 at East Croydon. Figs for Fareham, should just call it the 3 L's. That's why I had jingles made up, because I could never say it. Jack thinks it's a 73 BR Blue at Hastings. Pig and Bob says 73 TO1 at Clapham Junction. Stu, 73 in green, maybe BR green for GBRF. Welcome to Cumbria. This is Milnthorpe. We are following a Windermere-bound local service. Pay attention to the signals on the approach to Oxenholme. That is a recipe for disaster. And there's 100 coming up. No, run down, run down, run down. So now I'm braking whilst I've got power in because I'm waiting for the power to run down, which is really, really bad driving. That would definitely be tea and biscuits with the manager. But not having route knowledge, that's my excuse. So I'm going to stick to that excuse. Right, 2 yellows, so I'm going to keep running that down. It's just stepped up to a green. So 2 yellows up to green. What I'm going to do there is I'm going to keep the power running down, so I'm slowing down, but I'm not going to put the brakes in yet. So, you know, I've seen the signal step up to green. I know there's something in front of me. However, you know, I know it's on the move because I've seen the signal step up. But what I don't want to do is go chasing the train in front. So I don't see it step up to green and then go back to line speed. There we go, 2 yellows again. Hey, Sam! We have a new member, Sam Robinson. Thank you very much, bud. Level 3, straight in. Don't forget, guys, if you would like to become a member of Dad Route, then do check out the links in the video description and all that sort of thing. We do have membership from 99p. Mr. Quicko Gaming, hello, hello, hello. Two yellows. So what I'm going to do on the 2 yellows there is I'm going to release my brake, but I'm not going to accelerate. Because what we don't do is go chasing red signals. Yay, it's come up on the screen. Sam, thank you very much, Sam. I got notification before the stream did. It is a very pretty route. 156 Andrew, hello. Great to see you here. So guys, there's 110 of you lovely people in. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button. That would be absolutely fantastic. Hey, Davidoff has joined. Excellent. Thank you very much, Davidoff. Bud. So it looks like we're approaching 1 yellow. Hopefully that's going to step up to 2. That has stepped up to 2. It might have been 2. It looked 1 from back there. So we're just going to keep plodding along at this speed for the minute. It's really nice that we've got some adverse signals to respond to. DET trains, from what I understand, it's been delayed because there were a few things that weren't quite ready with it. Personally, I think that's the right thing to do. If the product's not complete, then you should definitely delay it. I'm almost in Scotland, hey! David 2008, can you get fired for forgetting to register on the GSMR? No, that wouldn't be a sackable offence, but it's certainly not best practice. Trains can actually run without being registered, providing you've got GSMR-GB in the screen. You can run without being registered on the network. So yeah, even without registration, you've still got the ability to make and receive emergency calls, and you can still contact the signaller. It's just a little bit more difficult to do. So we're still on 2 yellows. I'm going to give it a little bit of power, just hold the speed about 35. 2 yellows is good. 2 yellows is where we want to be. We don't like going past 1 yellow, because if we go past 1 yellow, it means we're approaching a red. And if we're approaching a red, it means we have to drive slowly and be extra cautious. So not approaching reds is a safer bet. Just slowing down sort of well in advance. We've got a neutral section coming up as well. So I'm going to run all that power down for the neutral section, which we are just passing through now, as denoted by the sign on the left. Yeah, so you can see as we've gone through the neutral section, the amps have just completely dropped off. And we're just gonna, yeah, we'll keep that off for the minute. We'll just let that run. Oh, we've got a green, excellent. Oxenholme platform is not very far away though, so we'll just get a little bit more power in so we're not creeping up to it too much. So we just hold it in that position there. That's about right, I reckon. Ladies and gentlemen, my son is at the front door. He's locked out. he's telling me via the chat. Brilliant. Come in. Where's your keys? I had them. They were in the door. You got to say hello to the stream now. Brilliant. I do apologise for the interruption in your service. I left my keys in the front door so he couldn't get his in. I had to lock it from the inside. I have a... okay, let's get rid of all that power. I have a 2-year-old that likes to run away out the house, so I have to lock the door. There he is, he's behind me. That's one way of getting in contact with your parents. Wait till they're live streaming. Right, so yeah, we've got all that power off there so we can go into the off position. And we'll come into Oxenholme. Hopefully not too slow. We are approaching Oxenholme, the junction station for the Windermere branch. Up and down loops are located here to the south of the station. Okay, let's get a little bit of braking. Are we going through the 10? We're not. We're not going into the bay. Oh, the dynamic braking works as well. Excellent. It does take a little while for that dynamic brake to kick in though. Purposely trying not to overrun. Oh, that could be a nice stop. We're going to need a little bit more brake, or is that going to pull up? No, it's going to need a little bit more brake. Look. Stop on a rising brake. That was terrible. That was a nice sort of at the end there. Let's get the doors open. There we go. Why, Hunlom? Imagine having to abandon your train in real life because of that, having to run home because your son's daughter is locked out. They could stay locked out. Stu, how old are your kids? I've got 4, Stu. So my eldest is 17, going on 18. My youngest is 3. And I've got a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old. It's alright now because I bought a telly. So there won't be any more. AV Geek 63 question: on a neutral section, if you don't run the power down, will the train stop? No, it won't stop, Paul. I think someone else will be. Right away, driver. We will now tackle the first major incline on our journey north, Greyrick Bank. The Class 87 will work hard between here and our next stop at Penrith. Yes, if we go through the neutral section with power in, the amps are going to drop out. You're going to sort of draw quite a large arc. Rolling backwards. Let's go forwards. Yeah, you're going to draw quite a large arc because basically you've got, 25,000 volts. You've probably got maybe, I don't know, 2,500, 3,000 amps going through, maybe even more than that. If that suddenly, just gets shut off, it's going to draw quite a large arc and it's going to make a big flash over and stuff like that. So you don't want to be going through there with lots of amps in. You want to be winding the power down. On modern locomotives, it's all taken care of with electronics. I think you still shut off for neutral sections, but the sort of a lot of the kind of the amps and the gizmos is all taken care of by electronics. But on these older locomotives, just relying on the skill of the driver. Railways, etc. Do you ever drive with cab doors open? Yeah, not as a rule, but occasionally. Right, so we've got a 90. We're good for 90. Excellent. Sujat, how does in-cab signalling work? There are many, many different types of in-cab signalling, bud. So you're referring to like ETCS. Is ETCS? I don't have a clue. TVM, I sort of have a rough idea, and LZB, which is the German system, I have a rough idea. But yeah, I'm not overly familiar with in-cab signalling. Are wipers still necessary? It is raining. We'll keep them on for a minute. Northern Princess Productions, I imagine if you're going through a neutral section with dynamic braking, that's a really good question actually. If you've got braking and dynamics kicked in, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Gregory Allen, how much is the electricity bill for Network Rail? More than I can afford, Gregory, more than I can afford. And Sam Robinson has answered that question. Yes, on modern stock, dynamic braking still functions when in the neutral section. I guess on modern stock, if you've got dynamic in, it would automatically switch to rheostatic rather than regenerative. Yeah, it'll go from regenerative to rheostatic. So instead of putting it back into the grid, it'll put it through the resistors and turn it into heat. Bad driving. Look, I've still got power in, and I'm putting braking through the 85. Richard, do you know after Carlisle is Gretna, famous for weddings? Gretna Green, yeah. Straight across the border into Scotland, get married because the marriage laws were different, which I think is why people used to elope to Scotland to get married. Arthur's Transport Productions, third rail locos are mega. Do you know, I think, and I might be wrong, but as far as I know, the only third rail locomotives that we still use are the 92s and the 73s. I don't think there are any other third rail capable locomotives. Someone out there is going to tell me I'm completely wrong, but I think at the moment 73s and 92s are the only third rail locomotives. Yeah, thank you, Sam, that's the one, rheostatic, couldn't think of the word. TVM, not KVB. Yeah, TVM, KVB, TVM. They're both signalling systems, aren't they, I think is KVB like a safety system that goes alongside TVM? Oh, I don't know. My whole knowledge of in-cab signalling is purely based off of train sim, so it's not a very good foundation for knowledge. Right, we're losing too much speed here. Let's get some power in as we're going up the bank. Northern Princess Production, I visited our control team, and fun fact, they have to notify Network Rail when a unit is in the depot all day so we don't get billed for the power usage. Apparently it's a flat rate, not a mile by mile thing. Oh, okay. Nick, what do you think of the Class 377 Intercity upgrade plan? I haven't heard about that. We are crossing Dockwray Viaduct near Docker Farm, a spot on the Grey Ridge Bank that is well known to enthusiasts and photographers. Just ahead is the Lambrig emergency crossings. Davidoff, Richard Bud, quick question. Since the Class 165s, 166, 66666s have now replaced the 143 Pacers on the Great Western on the Exmouth to Paynton line via Exeter, St David's and Devon, along with the Class 150, and what will replace the 150s? No idea at the moment. You tell me. Yeah, KVB is used for St Pancras area only, if I recall it is essentially a safety system go on top of the TVM. Ah, brilliant. Hey, Bass's Trains, how you doing? What have you missed? Me speeding, right now. Too much attention to the chat, not enough to me driving. And I've got an 80 coming up as well. Hey, Philip Morris, welcome, new subscriber, great to have you here. And now I'm braking and powering at the same time, which is like not good for the brake blocks. Fitters don't like that sort of thing. They get very upset. Grey Rig was the site of a station in steam days. Now there are only the up and down goods loop. After passing below the M6 motorway, we will enter the Loon Gorge. Sounds very exotic. So I think we're going downhill slightly at the moment, or are we on the level? I'm not entirely sure. Let's get a little bit of power in. Oh, look at that, beautiful. Let's get a little bit of power in there. Holding. We are approaching the site of the former junction with the branch to Ingleton at Low Gill. The old alignment can be seen to the right. That is Low Gill Viaduct. It looks like we're going downhill. We're 73 and an 80. Yeah, that's pretty decent. I'm not sure how tight the timetables would really be on the West Coast, whether you've got to be sort of bang up on speed or whether you can afford to be tiddly-plodding along a little bit. People on the track, blow the horn. We're going up to 90 anyway, so we'll run that power up a little bit. And while it's doing that,
post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
We'll play a game. Ooh, so we're at 100% power there. We've got this 100 coming up. Look at the scenery, it's really gorgeous. Are we going to bust that 100? There's no cars on the motorway. Must be on strike. Oh, we did bust the 100 ever so slightly. We won't lose any sleep over it though. That is beautiful. That is really beautiful. We're liking that a lot. Okay, let's run some of that power back now, so the speed's still creeping up. I think we're going downhill now as well. It seems to be holding okay. Let's just hold the power where it is. It's about 96, not too bad then. Okay guys, what have we got? Third number on my screen is number 11.
Let's play locomotive livery location.
Okay guys, I'm going to give you number 11. You've got 10 seconds to give me the locomotive livery and location. It's far too easy. It's got to be far too easy, isn't it? Do let me know what you're thinking though. Shark Tales, have you driven the HS2 Livery 66 yet? I don't think I've had that one. T-Bay was a busy location in the days of steam as it was home to Shap banking engines. This is the foot of Shap Bank. Ahead is 5 miles of 1 in 75 gradient or more. So my power's up at 100%. Have I missed the neutral section or something? Because I've got no amps in. Oh, I went into the off position, didn't I? Yeah. Not paying attention to my driving. Sorry, guys. This is probably not what you want to do going up Shap Bank. You'd probably want that power in a lot sooner. So now, before I can get the power back in, I've got to run down all the way back to 0 before I can power up again. And you'd probably kind of want to be full power tackling the bank here. So I'm going to start losing speed far too quickly. So once that drops to 0, we're going to get some power back in again. We're crossing Birkbeck Viaduct. Okay, so notch up, run up. Oh, the amps are coming up. Yeah, I can just see that now. Right, so we're powering up again. That was a schoolboy error. What are we saying? So Rowan Plays is saying that locomotive location livery is a 73. 156 Andrew is saying 66, 7, 8, 9. Oh, drop it. Oh, we are starting to accelerate again now. That's pretty good. You went through a neutral section at full power. Never a good thing to do. That's what you get for not concentrating. Philip Morris, I'm just started playing Trains in 3 on PS5. How do you know speed changes en route? What signs do you look out for, or is it learning route? Philip is very much learning the route. You got the heads-up display on Train Sim, which will tell you. Scout Green has always been a favourite spot for round enthusiasts to watch locomotives of all sorts hard at work on the Shap Incline. Yeah, sorry, Philip. You've got the heads-up display, which will tell you the speeds, but other than that, it is down to learning the routes and just kind of working out where they are and where your braking points are. That's exactly how you drive in real life. You have to have route knowledge to know where your speed limits are, where your stations are, and all things like that. It's definitely a good way to cause a traction motor flashover. We don't want to be doing that. That would be tea and biscuits with the engineering supervisor. Yeah, so Ben Glasgow, if you go full throttle into a neutral section, you're going to cause a massive arc, and you could cause the traction motors or the transformers to flash over, which can basically burn them out and cause them to cut out and cause all sorts of damage to the substations and the locomotive. So yeah, you don't really want to be doing that. It's not a good thing to do. Go via Shap Summit Downway. Oh, there's an 80 coming up as well, so I'm going to get done for speeding again. This is not good, guys. So you have a little bit of route knowledge. I'd know exactly when to shut off my power to let the train coast down for the 80. Well, we might have got this quite not too bad. I'm going to avoid using the brakes because we're still going uphill. That's not too bad. We'll take that. Watch the 80 limit. Yeah, we're good for the 80. Just. Go via Shap Summit down Main. Running dummy on the left there, shunt signal. Welcome to Shap Summit, 916 feet above sea level. Hey! So we've got the 95 there, but if we've been uphill for the last 5 miles, logic would say we're going to start going downhill. 2 yellows. Okay, let's run that down. And we start getting some braking as well. 156 Andrew, the only electric train I drive is the Class 73. When I was a passenger driver, I used to sign 375s, 377s, which are preferred run electrics. So yeah, that counts. So now we've got all the way down to 0. We can put the controller in the off position. Still 2 yellows, that's good. We've still got a little bit of brake in there as well, so we're still slowing it down. LW Rail, the service ends at Carlisle. DET trains, how long is left on this route? So we've got to stop at Penrith, so pick up passengers Carlisle 1958. Operational error. What have I done? What's my operational error? What did I do wrong? This is the problem, guys, when you try and drive and stream and chat at the same time. You end up missing everything important. And for some reason my brake has gone into the overcharge position. So I don't know why my brakes are now overcharging. I've obviously done something very wrong. Stepped up to a green, lovely. So let's start getting a little bit of power in. No, Ben, I believe I was in the, I could be wrong, but I believe I was in the off position at the time. So we won't get too excited. So we've had the signal stepped up to green. So we're going to increase our speed a little bit, but we're not going to get too excited. Although I've got up to almost 100% power. Now we're at 80. Just in case we come around the corner and the next signal's 2 yellows. So we're kind of just going to sort of judge our speed. Yeah, we've got yellows up in the distance again there, so let's run all that back. That has stepped up to green, okay, that's good. So we're going to hold our speed at about what we're doing now and see what the next signal does. We've got an 80 coming up as well in a few moments. Yeah, sorry guys, so we're it's currently 19:31 in game. We're due in Carlisle at 19:58, so Harrison's aggregate quarry is on the left, as is the down passing loop. Watch your speed as we descend towards Penrith. Last signal 2 yellows. So let's get a little bit of braking again. Let's get a little bit more braking because that speed's not really coming down at the moment. That's because I'm holding power. Let's run down the power. That might help just a little bit to get the speed down. Power brake at the same time. It's never good. Now we're starting to slow down. Yellows, okay. We'll release that then. We've stepped up to green. We'll release that and we'll just let the train run for a few minutes. And while it's doing that,
post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
So guys, there are 93 of you lovely people still here tonight. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing. That would be absolutely brilliant. I am waiting for your locomotive livery location numbers, and we have got our third one, which is Pig and Bob with number 2.
Let's play locomotive livery location.
Give you number 2, guys. 10 seconds. Locomotive livery and location. Oh, that's a good one. What are you thinking? So our last signal stepped up to green there. We are going downhill, so I'm not going to put any power in. We've got 70 coming up as well. So I'm just going to let that run at the moment. We are picking up speed quite nicely. Like I said, we don't go chasing red signals. It's quite clear from the fact we've sort of had yellows that we're following something in front. We don't want to go chasing it and sort of going on to red signals. Approaching reds creates risk, and it means that as drivers we have to work a bit hard and think about things, which we obviously don't want to do. We are following the meandering River Leaf through Bessie Gill. The neutral sections at Great Strickland is just ahead. Which is fine because I'm currently in the off position. And that board on our left just gone past there, guys. That is the warning for the neutral section. Tradesville from Berkshire, 73 Clapham Junction. Arthur's Transport Productions, Clapham, 732013 Whiskey 90. Northern Princess Productions is 8 your face. You'd have to find out. It's you on a Class 73. Question, guys, if it's me on a Class 73, who took the picture? Muzdez, as a newbie to Training Sim TS3, getting the signal warning pings going off seems to be off by default. Only your tip about switching on the AWS got it working. Problem is 66 keeps automatically braking. Help. Keeps automatically braking. Have you noticed when it automatically brakes? Do you get an alarms or buzzers or anything before it does that? Because it could be that you're not acknowledging some of the alarms or alerters. And there is said neutral section. So power's dropped out and it's come back in. We're going to go straight into run up. We've had a few greens, so I think we're pretty safe to get going now. So yeah, still going downhill, but good for 100. Good for a ton, good for a ton. London Bridge, 73201 Broadlands at London Bridge with you at the helm, says Northern Princess Productions. Uh, 156 Andrew, where's Mumrail? Mumrail is currently in Portugal. I've just done something really bad, I went to off. Yeah, Mumrail's currently in Portugal. Her mum, so my mother-in-law, is in hospital, not very well at the moment. So Danny has travelled to Portugal to be with her mum for the next couple of weeks. So I am consequently a single father to 4 children whilst trying to work shifts on the railway, which is difficult at the best of times. So my streaming schedule's all over the place. It's very sort of limited as to what I can do at the moment. But it's all good. We soldier on. We do what we have to. The former Eden Valley Junction, where a line diversion was Appleby on the Preston and Carlisle line, was just up ahead. Now all that remains is the up passing loop. So we're good for 100. We've got a 95-75 coming up. Yeah, we're just going to let that run for a minute. Press I to switch on the instrument dimmer. Oh, there we go. That's a bit better. We'll see what we're doing now. As long as you're not going past reds at a ton. No, I'll leave that to you passenger guys. John M. Dadrail, have you spoken to any drivers of the Network Route MPVs? Used for RHTTs. Always thought it was an interesting concept using a DMU for something other than passenger. Yeah, the MPVs are a good idea, but they're poorly executed. They suffer from a lot of overheating and catching fire. But I think as a design concept, they're pretty good. The primary problem with the MPVs compared to the RHTT trains is that the MPVs can't carry as much water with them. So an RHTT's got far bigger water tanks on it, so you can go out jetting for a longer period of time, whereas an MPV sort of might do a third of the time and have to go back and top up. But on the flip side, an MPV can do sort of sanditing and RHTT at the same time, sort of jetting and sanditing. So yeah, swings and roundabouts, but certainly an interesting concept. I've been in the cab of one once, but I've never ridden in the cab or driven one. So I'm thinking about getting some brakes in here for Penrith. Handy little reminder they're telling me we're coming into Penrith. That's probably way too much brake there, being a bit overzealous on the brake. Ben Glasgow, there's a cool mod coming out that will work with Train Sim Mod 2 and 3 that will allow players to play in VR. Fred's on forum. Excellent. Yeah, I want to get the IR track. Actually, I think that'd be pretty cool. What we'd really like for Train Sim is like multi-monitor support. I don't mean like the G-Force thing where you can stretch it across 2 screens. I mean like proper multi-monitor support like flight sims have got. So you can have like your front screen, then like your 2 side screens as well, so you can get like a fully immersive experience. That would be pretty cool. We are approaching Penrith. I keep putting my brake into the overcharge position as well. Yeah, not quite sure what I'm doing with that. Interesting and inconvenient when your unit catches fire, is indeed. That's what we were following. Now it is cleared off out the way. Okay, right, we're not going to come into this station too slow. Although it does look like we're going really, really slow. Let's try and be clever. Yeah, this is a tea and biscuits scenario for sure. I've got no idea how. Oh, come on. Yeah, no, that wasn't such a good idea, was it? That still counts. It's letting me have it. Passengers who wish to allow... Oh, where are we? How many characters have we got on? Here we go. Let's do this a different way. This is how we cover ourselves.
Penrith, this is Penrith. Passengers, please note you cannot alight from the front 2 coaches at this station. You cannot alight from the front 2 coaches at this station.
It's completely intentional. No one even noticed. Right away, after leaving Penrith, we will run down the Petrol Valley towards Carlisle. Beware of the neutral section as you depart the station. That's a lovely place to put a neutral section. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, a professional train driver. I wasn't in the train, I was on the platform. You can't blame me for that. No one will ever know. Don't tell them. Don't. Short platform or a long train? Yeah, no, definitely. This is due to short platforms. Oh, wheel slip. Okay, let's get that off. Excellent. We're running up. We're staying out the red though. Oh, it's just about staying out the red. But it is wheel slipping. Let's put that into the hold position for a minute. And get going. Oh, there's a neutral section. No! Oh, this is terrible. This is really, really terrible. We've got to wait for that to run back before we can take power again. Dear oh dear oh dear. Come back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do it properly. Right, we're running up. We're on the move. We're going. Maxwell, when will Transport Fever 2 be making a return? I don't know, Max. I don't know if I'm going to go back to doing that on the channel or not. I've done it a couple of episodes, and I don't think the format really worked for me. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point. We may revisit Transport Fever. It's something I definitely like playing in my spare time. Although I've been doing a lot of City Skylines lately. Worst of all, Sim Airport I've been playing, which is kind of like a really poor graphic sort of indie game type thing, but it's really addictive. John M. In Ireland, selective door opening is not a thing. Nowadays, all platforms have been extended to fit, but up until 2008, Mark II and Mark III stock was used, and you'd often see a door open with no platform below. Gregory, why are there still overhead lines in the neutral section? So, I'm by no means an expert on overhead line equipment, but I believe the pantograph on the train is basically held up using compressed air, so it's forced up onto the wires. If there's no wires there, the pantograph is just going to sort of fly up to its fullest extent, because the distance between the wires and the train is variable. So sometimes, like going through tunnels, you'll see the pantograph very low, and other times at different locations you'll see the pantograph quite high. So yeah, if they simply took away the wires, the pantograph is just going to extend to its fullest height, and then when it comes back onto the wires, it's kind of just going to get tangled up and pull down the knitting, which is something that Great Western Railway know all about. They're quite good at doing that. I mean, Network Rail will, Great Western people will tell you that it's Network Rail's infrastructure, but it's the drivers. Wonder if Sam's still watching. Thanks very much, DUT Trains. Yeah, so do I. Yeah, so I've got a question for you guys, because like my knowledge on train sim classic really isn't very good, as you can tell. I've got West Coast Main Line south, and now I've got the bit over Shap. Can you get the bit in the middle? Is it possible to do an entire West Coast Main Line run? Obviously with kind of AP scenarios and packs and different things. Can you do sort of Euston to Glasgow? Is the full route available? Keith Jones, West Coast Main Line over Shap doesn't end at Carlisle. You can go all the way to Dumfries in Scotland. You can also take the branch line to Morecambe, just north of Lancaster. Some of the scenario. Oh, I didn't know that. Excellent. Yeah, I saw this as some 2-hour scenarios. At Plumpton, there is a passing loop on the upside. You will see on the left that we are still following the M6 motorway, as we have been for much of the trip. Pig and Bob, if you do a GCR stream at some point, they now have a Class 442, and they also have a branch line fee. Hey, Bleakgrass, hello! What have we got? Trains from Berkshire, you need the West Coast Main Line missing link, and West Coast Main Line Trent Valley, and West Coast Main Line North. Keith Jones, no, you can't go north of Birmingham to Preston. That is the bit of the West Coast Main Line that is missing. Ah, that's a shame. I mean, that would be a long, long stream, wouldn't it? Can you imagine? Euston to Glasgow. I think even in real life, I think that the Euston drivers only go as far as Preston or something like that. I don't think they sign the whole route. I know there are some drivers that do sign the whole route, but I don't think it's typical. So we're going downhill now, we're just running that power all the way back so we don't bust that 110. And we're nearly back at 0. Excellente. Although we are still slowing down a little bit, which is a bit interesting, because it does look like we're downhill. Oh, we'll give it a little bit of power then, so we get closer to that 110.
Post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
I'm getting bored of hand notching, it's running up all the way. Savagery. Come on, come on. No, it looks like it kind of looks like we're climbing there, but I'm sure that the chart at the bottom sort of looks like we're descending, very slightly. Yeah, 1 in 230. So yeah, we are kind of. Yeah. It's like 1 in 230 on down gradient. Northern Princess Productions, brilliant. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, DET Trains, you're the... No, you're not, my apologies. Pig and Bob, you are the third number on my screen with number 4. We have just passed Southwaite, the site of a former Lancaster and Carlisle railway station. Please be aware that there's a 40-mile-an-hour temporary speed restriction at milepost 65.1. Look out for the advanced warning board. I will do.
Let's play locomotive livery location.
Okay, Pig and Bob, well, I'll give you number 4 as requested. 10 seconds for that locomotive livery and location. And I can absolutely guarantee you that I'm not speeding. It's not my brakes you can see coming off there in rather a hurry, I promise. Okay, so interestingly enough, we've just had the warning board for the TSR, the temporary speed restriction, but it didn't have an AWS magnet on it. So normally temporary speed restrictions will have an AWS magnet fitted to them. So it's a 40, looks like we've got a little bit of distance till we get there. Transport for bulk, train spots for bulk, 73 in BR Blue at Clapham Junction. The dynamic brake sounds pretty good. I quite like that. So, would you recommend, guys, the AP86? Does it add quite a lot to the loco? Let me know. Is it? I said I would get it. Is it money well spent getting it, or is it not a massive improvement over the dovetail one? To be fair, the one I'm driving now seems pretty decent to me. I'm by no means a connoisseur of these locomotives, but it does seem pretty decent. Keith Jones, Top Link Preston drivers sign all the West Coast main line, including all the diversion routes, probably the longest route cars and passenger driving. They also signed the diversion routes through Manchester. Awesome. We are speeding through that 40. And we're horning for the people standing there as well, that'd be a good idea. Hey British Ace, good evening, how you doing, Joe? Saw some of your GBRF pals today at Brighton with a 73 RHTT. Right, we've gone past the T-board, let's get some power in, off we go. Northern Princess Productions. Keith Jones, LNER Newcastle Top Link signed the full East Coast main line. Glasgow, Aberdeen and the Lodge link to Inverness. Ooh, that is a long route card. I should imagine we've got to be nearly getting there, guys, haven't we? Yeah. We've got a couple more instructions after Carlisle. We'll probably get to Carlisle though, and I don't know how much longer that's going to take to do that little bit there. Yeah, we've been going for hour and a half-ish. Yeah, we'll get to Carlisle and then I think we'll call it there. So yeah, DT train's not too long then, probably about another 10 minutes or so. Northern Princess, honestly the AP 87 is night and day compared to this. 87 or 86? I've made that mistake today. John M. R Class 66 is fitted with the dynamic brake. They are not, no. 75 warning board. Let's run that power down. And a 20 warning board. Wow. Okay, that's coming up really, really quick. What's going on here? Wow, okay. We are approaching Carlisle. Well, yeah. Come on, please slow down. 2 yellows. Right, brakes are in. 50%. I think we might need a little bit more to get down for that 20. I think we might need a lot more to get down for that 20. Nah, I think we're going to be alright. Right, let's take it back. Yeah, you certainly can, Joe. Feel the speed on this loco. It's getting me worried. I'm sort of thinking, yeah, I'm going way too fast. I'm never going to get down for that. But yeah, no, it's all right. Yeah, DET trains. When I passed out as a train driver with my former passenger company on 375s, as part of our driver training, we had to be competent to guard as well. So I've done a couple of. I never worked in anger as a guard, but I did do it as part of my my training. So yeah, I have guarded 375s, just sort of as part of the training, as sort of passing out. But I've never done a shift, as it were. There's the 20. Come on, a little bit more off of there. 1 yellow, platform 3, red ahead. I think we can get rid of those wipers as well now. Excelente. Creeping into Carlisle. And we won't do a Penrith, we'll actually stop in the platform this time. I've got a really good score though, guys. Minus 139. We're going way too slow now. Goes from one extreme to the next. British Ace, I fully support what you're saying. I'm really hoping that's not my red signal there. It shouldn't be because it's on the right. I guess we'll soon find out. Gregory Allen, I've met lots of guards that work in anger. Love it. But no comment. I couldn't possibly comment. Pig and Bob, that's a very good score. Is it? Do I detect a hint of sarcasm there?
Stopping on a rising brake. Well, we're a little bit short there, but nothing we're going to worry about. Excellent, there we go. Okay, guys, let's have one more go at this.
Post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
Let's have a little nose round Carlisle. Ah, 47. Should have driven the 47. I reckon I would have made a better job of the 47. Right away, driver. We will continue as far as the Scottish border before handing over to your assistant. The next stop is Lockerbie. We will not continue. We are going to call it a night there. Excellent. This route is really lovely. It's really good. Excellent. This felt like Carlisle in real life as we approach. That is a good job. You'll end positive if you don't spad. Oh, okay, guys. Right. Third number, actually, Northern Princess Productions on my screen, is number 8.
Let's play locomotive livery location.
Dear, oh dear. Gonna give you number 8, guys. Is it me? Ah, it's not me. You might know who the driver is, though. I'll give you brownie points if you know who the driver is. I have blurred her face out to be a bit more discreet about it. Yeah, I can tell you officially. Charles Transport Productions, I don't know if you're still in. Charles Transport Productions got this correct after the first reveal. So, I think...
It's time to reveal today's locomotive livery location.
There we go, guys. That is a Class 73 BR Blue at Clapham Junction. And as Charles Transport Productions said, very correctly, that is 3 Whiskey 90. So that you get bonus points for getting the head code as well. I see everyone knows the driver. Northern Princess Productions, Helen, I think. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Adam, Helen. I hope everyone's following Helen on Twitter, at Propaganda, if you're not. And if you are on Twitter, don't forget you can follow me on Twitter. Socials on the screen for you right now. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that sort of good stuff. So, thank you very, very much for watching, guys. We are going to call it a night there. We've been going for about an hour and a half, which I feel is about right. That's a good time. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing. That would be absolutely brilliant. I am in the process of doing some decorating, so excuse the kind of ripped off wallpaper behind me. I'm stripping the walls in preparation. But yeah, there we go, guys. I do apologise, like I say, for the lack of streams lately, and it's probably going to be a bit sporadic going forward as well until I get my life a little bit more settled, which hopefully won't be too long. But we'll just have to see what goes on. But there we go, guys. I'm going to press this button here. Thank you very, very much for watching. It is very much appreciated. I may be in the Discord afterwards if I can get it to work. If I can, then I shall see you over there. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.